Oh, hi, everybody.
Hi.
It's stayfhomekins.
Oh, my gosh. Welcome to our podcast and yours.
Right. Look, full disclosure, another tired week for me. This was a long day that kicked my ass. And so I don't know what I'm going to be like
He's like,
on this episode.
He was like, I think I can do it. And then I was like, just settle in and relax and have a little weekend water. And that's why he was laughing at me because...
You know what? Because immediately I pictured Roy Scheider and all that jazz.
That is such a good movie, though.
Taking his pills in the morning and looking in the mirror and saying, it's showtime.
So sad we lost N ranking this year.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But now they're reunited in all that jazz heaven.
All that heaven.
All that heaven. Do you think Bob Fosse's up there?
Yeah.
Really? He was kind of not a great guy. He would go to all that jazz heaven, though, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
That would be ridiculous. If he got turned away from all that jazz heaven.
Well, this is us, guys. I'm Janie Haddad Tompkins.
I'm Paul F. Tompkins.
He is a comedian.
She is an actress.
Together, we are the Homekins. We stay at home during pandemics.
That's what we do.
We've got recording equipment and we turn it on.
Yeah. And then this is what happens after that happens.
We don't have guests.
Nope. We won't have guests.
What if we do? Well, if after the vaccine, I don't know what would happen. It's not really the vibe of this show if you're new to us.
After the vaccine, things are going to change around here.
After the vaccine.
Do you know what? Here's what I realized is that it's not that I've never had a regular thing like this before, but where it's absolutely the same. It's the same day of the week. Like it has to be done a certain time. And like I've done other shows before where it's sort of like, they sort of take care of themselves, whether it's a scripted show or an improv show or whatever. It's like there's a thing you follow. So even if you're not in the mood, you can just follow that script. You can follow whatever happens.
Right, and now you're being you.
You don't have to be yourself. Now I'm just the miserable old me.
People were very nice, sent very nice messages last week.
Yeah,
we had a rough week emotionally, and also people did say, please take care of yourself, which actually comes to mind that there actually might be a 1-day postponement of next week's episode. We're not sure yet.
Here's the thing.
Yeah, Paul's going to share.
I booked a guest starring job on a sitcom, and so I'm scheduled to work next Friday. Who knows how long or short that day will be, so I don't know.
So if the day goes long, Stay of Homekins will come out 24 hours after its normal time.
Right. Although here's what we could do.
FYI.
There's no reason we can't do this.
What?
We could record in advance.
Of your workday?
Yeah.
When? You have to work on Thursday, too.
No, I'm saying... Okay, I'll go through the days where I'm not working, and then maybe you'll understand.
But nothing happens to me that I can talk about.
Honey, I just said the one thing that happened to me, and now I'm out. We could do it Monday or Tuesday.
All right, let's
We could do it Sunday. We could do 2 episodes back to back today.
I don't want to do it Monday or Tuesday because this is our final, someone pointed on Twitter, this is our final Stay of Homekins of the current administration.
Oh, I see.
And so
which that was part of the narrative of the podcast.
It's not that we were going to go through the whole administration.
Well, no, that it was happening.
Oh.
It was one of the many miserable things happening while we were doing this podcast.
So, we want the page turned. Yeah,
I am on the road again.
That's a really good song.
It's a great song.
It's a really good song.
Bob Seger now always makes me think of Scott Aukerman and Lauren Lapkus because we listened to Bob Seger on the road when we were touring with Comedy Bang Bang.
I love that. I love envisioning y'all in that van.
Man, we
Didn't
listened to
Scott
that.
do all the driving?
Scott insisted on doing all the driving.
Which, by the way, my hero. Like, whoever, if one person's like, I have to do the driving.
I felt bad. It was
Really?
like, well, it's exhausting to always be the one to do the driving.
Yeah, but that one time we went on that road trip with Super Ego, and Matt Gorley had to drive because
right. He gets
has
car sick as a
car
passenger.
sickness. And I'm like, go for it, man. If
And
that's
he forgot.
What?
We took Amanda's car, right, which takes diesel fuel.
Oh wait, I was talking about in Massachusetts. You're talking about in California. Don't you remember we went to that Wilco thing in the museum in the middle?
Yeah.
Wait, are you conflating the time when we almost ran?
I'm not trying to.
Oh, okay. So there were 2 times that we were on the road with Super Ego.
Right.
One was when on the East Coast for that.
For the Wilco
thing.
which I can't remember the name of the festival.
Yeah, what was it called?
Solid Sound.
Solid Sound.
And then the other time was from Max FunCon, right?
Yes,
Yes.
it was for Max FunCon, and he borrowed Amanda's car.
His wife, Amanda Lund, the hilarious improviser and co-host of the the Big Ones podcast.
Yes.
Which you should all check out.
Yes, and she also does the Complete Woman.
So funny.
Which I got to do. This is like the funnest time I ever got to be on a podcast was on Complete Woman at the London Podcast Festival.
And Matt insisted on driving to London. And we were like, what?
That was like, I had felt bad on that trip because Amanda's phone got lost or stolen, and they still had like a leg of a trip, and they were like
that
overseas.
was miserable. Yeah, she
Anyway.
left her phone in a cab or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we were going
in
up to Max
California.
FunCon in
Yeah.
California.
Yeah.
Matt borrows Amanda's car. Her car takes diesel fuel. Matt did not gas up before we left, and so we straight up ran out of gas.
And by the way, this was like, so I guess so Max FunCon is this podcast. A lot of listeners probably already know this because we have a lot of podcast savvy listeners.
Hey, if you're listening to this podcast, you probably listen to other podcasts.
So Max Fun is the channel that has all these other podcasts, like
The network. Our friend Judge John Hodgman.
yeah, this John Hodgman, and yeah, and so they have this like yearly retreat or like a yearly
event.
convention, or but it takes place in Arrowhead, California, which is like, I don't know, like an hour from here or like 90 minutes. It's like not far.
Yeah, it's not like an all-day trip. It's pretty, it's pretty easy to
But
get to.
it's kind of like mountainous.
Yes, it's windy. for
Yes. And so he took Amanda's car. We were all in the car. And then we got to the top of the mountain. And he's like, oh, it's bad. It's going to run out of gas. And luckily, I have a AAA membership, have for years. Don't mean to brag. Big fan, y'all. Big fan
We're
of
a big AAA family.
I love AAA.
Love 'em.
As soon as like I started driving as a teenager, like my dad kind of like insisted, like,
Well, as soon as I started driving as a 40-year-old,
you're on the family plan now. The AAA
That's right.
plus or whatever. Yeah. Anyway, so luckily I was able to call us AAA, and they got us, because diesel fuel is not as prevalent.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah. Hence the problem. Because we pulled into a gas station
They didn't have
and it was
it.
like, can you tell us where diesel fuel is? And maybe we can somehow figure out how to get it?
The whole weekend was a little off.
That was a strange weekend, yeah.
Like, we were not ready. We were not prepared for any of it. Like, we were like, I think I even went at the last minute. I think you were like, do you want to just come with us? And
yeah.
Because, like, none of the other Super Ego ladies went.
No,
like, normally
right?
when we travel with Super Ego, it's like a family affair.
It was just you and the boys.
It was me and the boys. And I was a little under the weather, I think. And so I was like not up for.
You should not have come.
I can't remember why I came. I think I was just like, yeah, why not? Okay, whatever. But there were like really fun moments.
For sure.
Like
yeah,
Joe
absolutely.
Randazzo hosted this trivia thing, and he was like cracking me
really
up,
funny.
like the whole. And then like I guested on some podcasts because I was there. I was like on Dave Holmes's thing,
International Waters, yeah.
which I've been on a couple
Yeah.
times actually, but yeah, it was interesting. I had never been to that Arrowhead place,
Nor
and
had
it
I,
was
yeah.
like really cool.
It was beautiful, yeah.
Yeah,
So then the other time was
time
when we went to Solid Sound, and that was off the back of a New York gig.
Yes, y'all did the Bell House in Brooklyn, and I remember we were staying like at Phil's in Manhattan.
Shout out to Phil.
Phil, we miss your apartment. We miss your. He had this apartment. Our friend Phil, he went to NYU and had this apartment in the West Village, like for a gazillion years, right over Washington Square Park, and he had this little nook in the apartment with all these pillows.
There were like long benches and pillows,
and
like soft padded benches.
Yeah, and Paul and I nicknamed it Ancient Rome. And so like whenever we'd stay at his apartment, we were like, "Oh, I'm gonna be there. Just come. I'll be in Ancient Rome. Come meet me in Ancient Rome," and all of this stuff.
Because we call it Ancient Rome because, like, if you've ever seen I Claudius or something like that, where these people are just
lounging
they're
in, like,
literally
togas.
everyone just lying around.
It looks great, in my
It
opinion.
does. It does. They're lying around eating grapes. Fantastic. Nature's
Speaking
candy.
of, I've been a little tempted to rewatch Rome on HBO because I loved it.
Put a pin in that for a second because I want to tell people more about Phil's apartment.
Phil's apartment.
He eventually bought an adjoining apartment in the building, and he had a secret passageway leading from one to the other.
Yeah.
This is, to me, that's the dream.
It was pretty cool.
That's the dream. To have a false bookcase.
Of course, he doesn't live there anymore.
He moved out. He moved out of the state.
But what was fun was we got to see Phil and we got to hang out, and y'all did the Bell House, and we got to see all the New York people we're friends with forever. And then, but then this festival that y'all agreed to do in Massachusetts, it was like 5 hours away or something. It was like far.
It's a good drive, yeah.
And so John Hodgman rented this huge minivan.
That's right.
We were like some big family of 10 or something.
Because John was the one who booked us on the festival. He handled the comedy.
Because he's like part
side
of
things.
he's like part of that group.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
something. Yeah. And in fact, yeah, there. So in this town in Massachusetts, there's this huge museum. Like it's the modern.
Did you say Cuge? Did I?
I think I said huge.
I swear
Maybe
it
I did by
I swear it sounded
accident.
like huge. I'm just a human being.
You had me at hello.
Yeah, Borat.
Look, I think I saw there was like this new documentary out about this museum. In fact, I heard a whole movie review on it on NPR. Anyway, I want to see the documentary, of course.
Do you know what I just remembered is that I knew this kid in high school. His name was Hugh Ferry, and his family called him Huey.
They did?
Yeah.
That's cute. I like that name.
But I don't think that they, because there was a weird thing. I don't think they realized that they were putting the Q sound in it.
So wait, like you're saying it was just like a kind of like a vocal quirk of this particular.
Yeah, I think they were saying Hugh.
Like
yeah.
a regional thing or something.
Here's what's fun. I dated his sister very briefly, and on I think our first date, I went to her house, and before we went out, and her parents were these lovely people that were off the boat from Ireland.
Uh-huh.
And so we sat in their living room, and I met them. And then Marion and I sat on the couch, and her parents sat in these two chairs, and they proceeded to both talk at the same time, not to each other. They were talking to us, and they were both telling individual stories. It was the most hilarious thing I'd ever seen.
I feel like I can't remember. Like I almost feel like we talked about this on the show on the
Really?
podcast. But
We may have talked about it in life. I don't know if we've talked about it on this podcast. I haven't thought of it in such a long time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I do remember talking about it in life for sure.
I can see them so clearly.
What has happened to her, the girlfriend? Do you
I think she's all right.
friends online?
We got briefly back in touch, I want to say like 10 years ago or something, maybe longer, where we exchanged a couple emails, and then we might have exchanged handwritten letters. That's how long ago it was.
Oh, that
it was like pre-email.
Longer than 10 years.
Yeah. But yeah, she's doing great. She was like one of those people that was really smart and also really sweet. You know what I mean? So I'm sure she has a wonderful life, as she should.
I hope so.
Shout out to Marianne Ferry.
Maybe she's
Thank you,
listening.
Lee.
Maybe she's listening.
You never know.
Anyway, those are our adventures.
So you might get back into Rome on HBO.
I've been flirting with the idea.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you feel about it because I was the bigger Rome enthusiast of us.
Yes.
Like I had like a Rome situation going on.
I remember that I was disappointed that Julius Caesar was not a bigger part of it.
Well, see, I don't remember any of it now. Like
Look, and this is a spoiler for Rome, so if you're thinking about getting into Rome, I would skip ahead 30 seconds just to be safe. He dies like after like 4 episodes or something, Kieran Hines. And it was like, really? No more Julius Caesar? We're just left with all these made up people?
Wait, so I have a question about Rome in general. Like
the actual Rome.
No.
Oh.
I guess like
TV Rome?
What is it? What is my question? My question is sort of like, oh, thank you. Okay, so like I'm like real dumb about
The end.
about like all of that stuff, like that ancient Rome stuff. Like, is it real?
Do you think you're dumb, or you just think it's not something that you've studied? Like, I'm just as dumb as you are about it. Like, I remember some trivia, but it's not like we talked about it that extensively. And like, that would have been like, when did we learn about that in school? I'm trying to remember. Like, because I feel like in high school, we talked so much about American history. And I know that at some point in my education, there was talk of ancient history, but I don't really remember.
I know, like, there is a lot of talk about, you know, restructuring our educational system as it should be because it's, like, so whitewashed and all of that.
Yeah.
But, like, what is so funny about my education is I didn't pay attention to any of it. Like, it wouldn't have mattered if it was, like...
Honestly, same. I mean,
like history, I did not get.
I got
and now
by.
I find it intriguing. I think I just had
now
really.
that we're fucking living in it.
Well, there's that. Also, I think I must have had teachers that didn't inspire me in history. You know, because I never liked any of it. Like I just was like total like the Peanuts. Adults talking.
Wah, 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 wah,
you
wah,
know,
wah. Yeah.
I just like it felt like regurgitated facts. It didn't feel at all contextual. Like I didn't understand, you know, we had to learn this stuff to not repeat it. Like I didn't even understand the point.
Yeah.
Like this was never like explained to me or contextualized to me until like I kind of like learned about stuff through my own reading or books or historical novels or documentaries, which I love. And yeah, so it wouldn't have even mattered if they had more comprehensive like history
for me.
It wouldn't have mattered for me.
I kind of feel the same way. Like history for me was a class that I didn't hate it. Like the only things I really hated were math and science.
I hated science.
I was so bad. I was okay at biology because there was no math involved, but chemistry I was horrible at.
Chemistry was literally like a foreign language. Like for me, like chemistry, I was like, I think my teacher was merciful and just like passed me through.
Man, mine wasn't. I had to go to summer school.
For chemistry?
Yeah.
Oh, that's brutal.
Yeah.
That is so brutal.
And then the summer school, the makeup.
I went to summer school too.
Summer school makeup was it was so easy. And
yes.
I'm like, maybe I should have taken the easy one first. Like maybe I didn't belong because when I first, here's my high school journey with science. So we had different tracks: track 1, track 2, track 3, track 4.
Okay.
And track 1 is like, like you're a bright person, you show ability, you can do these things, and then and then the layers go down, right? Sure. There's also advanced placement. That was never going to happen.
Not for science.
But because I present as a smart person.
You got in the wrong
I got in track 1. I struggled. What was that called? It was called like something introductory physical science. And I did terrible. I really struggled. And
did you have to dissect a frog? Because we did, and I fucking hated it.
That was the following year. I was in track 2 biology, where I did great. And I really liked the teacher, which is a big part of it.
Honestly, the teacher is everything.
Absolutely. Well, it's not everything because it's asking a lot of a teacher to take a subject you're not already interested in, that you don't find interesting at all, and fucking Dead Poets Society that shit.
Well, that's
you know what
true.
I mean? So then I guess I did so well. They were like, well, now you're back up to track 1 for chemistry.
For the other kind of science.
So the following year, I did so badly in chemistry that the teacher kept talking to me after class. And it's like, and it was always like, I know you can do this. And it's like,
no,
I don't know what to tell you. I'm not trying to not do it.
Yeah.
I'm not trying. This is it. And it's like that weird thing with kids. Like just because somebody is smart doesn't mean they can't have blocks.
Right.
And not everything is like, you should just be, you're lazy, you're not doing it.
I mean,
like no one ever asked me, is this hard for you? You know what I mean? They just told me this is not hard for you. You should be doing better.
Right.
And it's like, then I went to summer school, which was a fucking drag, but it's, in the grand scheme of things, it wasn't that long. And now I'm 52.
I mean, whatever. I went to summer school.
What did you go for?
I can't remember. You know what? I should, I don't remember. I should ask because I was my high school friend JD, who I text with every now and then lately.
Juvenile delinquent.
No, that is not what it stands for. He because we met in summer school, and he might remember what the class was. Mm-hmm. Because I don't remember. I honestly don't.
I did not form any bonds in summer school.
You what?
I did not forge any bonds in summer school.
I think we were just like sarcastic or something. We were both like sarcastic. So
don't you forget about me.
It kind of was like that. And like, was it like English? That's crazy if I would have gone for English. Like I never had a problem.
I would be very surprised.
Unless I was trying to advance or something, or I was like lacking. Because I kind of hopped around schools. Mm-hmm. So like maybe I was missing a credit or something, or I had to place into something. Yeah. For some reason, I was really good at algebra.
Wow. Not me.
Yeah. It was just like, it just made so much sense to me. And I'm not good at math. Like I have to use calculators to put numbers together and stuff. Like I have to write down on a piece of paper and carry the 1 and cross out the 2. Like I'm like not fast with numbers at all, but I understood like formulas. Mm.
I was so happy in my senior year. I had met the math and science requirements, so I did not have to have one of those as a course.
I have no idea what school is for kids in today's.
I don't know, and I don't want to know. Keep it to yourself, kids.
Honestly, I don't want to know. That would make like I'm glad I'm not like having to tutor a kid and be like, because I'd be like, I don't know, like I just like Google it.
Have you tried looking up the answer?
Well, I think we need to talk about the big news of the week. Which is?
Why don't we take a break and then I cannot describe to you what is happening right now, folks. Janie's giving me a visual cue that I do not get. Why don't we take a break right now? Stop doing that. I need you to acknowledge that I'm saying we're taking a break. We're going to take a break. We're going to hear from some of our sponsors.
Oh, we got some fun sponsors.
And then we'll be right back.
Wow, we could not be more honored to be sponsored again by Usual Wines. Usual Wines are for the modern drinker. They're made from world-class AVAs in California, like Napa, Sonoma, Santa Barbara, with minimal intervention, 0 sugar, and 0 additives. Usual Wines are for the modern drinker. Each bottle is a 6.3 ounce heavy pour or about 1.5 glasses of wine. No more pouring wine down the sink when you don't want to finish the bottle. Because of the single-serve format and bottle design, which is very cool and modern, Usual is always fresh. No more flat, bubbly, or stale rosé. They have a red blend, a rosé, a sparkling white wine called Brut, but they also have a Usual Spritz, a low-alcohol, 8.5%, low-calorie wine spritzer that's made of sparkling wine and guava juice, like White Claw for grown-ups. Each serving's just 83 calories, perfect for New Year's resolutions. So please visit www.usualwines.com and use our promo code stayfhomekins. That's www.usualwines.com, promo stayfhomekins for $8 off your first order. I'm speaking specifically to anyone out there who is planning a wedding. Okay, I planned a wedding. It's super fun, but if you're not sure how to make your wedding happen, you need to join 1 million couples who have planned their weddings with Zola. Zola makes wedding planning easier and less stressful by creating everything couples need all in one place. Wedding vendors, save the dates, invitations, free websites, registry, and more. They will find wedding vendors in your area. You get a clutter-free experience with no ads. You can explore save the dates and invitations, hundreds of beautiful, affordable designs. All purchases include free shipping, free matching envelopes, and free guest addressing. That's kind of huge. You can create a free wedding website. This is the best place for your guests to go to get up-to-date information about your event. You can build your registry. Zola has the most fun and easy registry. So go to zola.com/stayfhomekins today and use promo code SAVE50. That's SAVE50. Zola.com/stayfhomekins and use the promo code SAVE50. That's SAVE50. 50% off your save the dates.
Look, if I don't eat breakfast, I can't even think. But sometimes I don't have time to make something, and I can't resort to my favorite sugary cereals from when I was a kid because I'm a grown-up now. So I turned to Magic Spoon. Magic Spoon has 0 sugar, 11 grams of protein, and only 3 net grams of carbs in each serving. A lot of you have asked, and now you can finally build your very own custom variety box. You can choose from the best-selling cocoa, fruity, frosted, and blueberry flavors, plus brand new flavors, including peanut butter and cinnamon. It tastes amazing. Honestly, too good to be true. It's keto-friendly, not keto-meanly, gluten-free, grain-free, soy-free, low-carb, and GMO-free. So, go to magicspoon.com/homekins to grab a variety pack and try it today. Be sure to use our promo code HOMEKINS to save $5 off your first order. That's magicspoon.com/homekins.
And we're back. Okay, I'm going to describe what Janie was doing. She was holding her arm in front of her face, her forearm, and pretending to take big chomps out of it. Now,
Which is very obvious.
Maybe you got it right away.
It was very obvious.
I have no idea. There's people that got it right away. But during the break, I had to ask her, what was that supposed to be? And she said, Army Hammer. That's right, folks.
That was the big news of the
Army
week.
Hammer. The big news of the week is Army Hammer is a DM cannibal.
DM cannibal.
He's a direct message cannibal.
Okay.
I want to slide into your DMs with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
Listen, here's the thing.
And hear me out. I know this will be an unpopular opinion.
We all can agree he's nice looking fellow.
He's very comely and pleasing to the eye.
He's easy on the eyes. And
yeah, he's like a weird giant statue that came to life. Like he got struck by lightning. It's like, I better find some clothes.
Okay, first of all, I had not given much thought to Army Hammer.
He's not part of our day-to-day.
He's just like, I enjoy seeing him in things. Like, okay.
Apparently.
Who wouldn't want to watch a sentient statue? Okay.
I have no rebuttal. You're absolutely right.
By the way, so this what happened was on when was the crazy news day this week? Because last week it was the coup.
The coup.
This week it was the impeachment, and I was like, "Oh, watching that shit go down."
Right. Yes, we watched the impeachment hearings, and everyone getting up and doing their thing, and people's noses popping out of the mask. The woman that had the QAnon lady who had the censored mask, and it's like you're literally on TV and a microphone in front of your face.
like national
Who's
major TV.
Censoring you.
I have been on a journey.
Really?
With the
there and back again. Tell me, Bilbo Baggins.
I did not know so many domestic terrorist organizations were out there. I mean, you've got the QAnon, you've got the Boogaloos, you've got the Proud Boys, you've got the 3%ers, you've got the Oath Keepers, you've got...
It's all part of the melting pot. People have different views. What's so weird about that?
But, I did not understand the quilt of conspiracists.
Yeah.
I did not. I just kind of had vague awareness of these people's group names here and there, and now I'm keenly interested in who's who was running it, who's this or smart or been around or whatever, and what they're going to do here with these people. So that's been happening during the week. Then the impeachment, and then whatever day that was that the Army Hammer thing broke on Twitter was wait, I gotta make space in my brain now for this. It was
that didn't clear everything else out immediately. Come on, honey.
To be fair, it did. Because
absolutely. Of course it did.
Caught my
It was great. It was absolutely bananas.
It caught my attention. And so I'm reading this thread, and it wasn't clear cut when the story broke, because it was a bunch of different...
Whether it was real or not?
Well, just that there were different tweets about different things. It was a flood of snippets of a conversation with this person or that person. Then there was a recording, and then it came out later. Maybe that wasn't him, but I don't know. Was it him?
I am
was
now...
the recording him?
I sort of now think that it's him. If it's not, I mean, great Army Hammer impression. You nailed it, dude, whoever you are.
You should audition for SNL.
But when he canceled work on a movie that he was about to shoot.
Oh, okay.
It's I need to be with my kids right now.
No.
The people are calling me an
No, J-Lo.
cannibal.
It's J-Lo. J-Lo said, honey, you're going to put out a statement. that you
Oh, is she in the movie too?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So J-Lo was
Yeah.
like, honey.
Yeah.
No.
I bet you're right.
Because
You're not ruining my movie,
No.
Hannibal Lecter.
Although, wouldn't it be funny if he was tapped to play in the next Hannibal Lecter?
I hope they just keep remaking those same 3 movies over and over again.
So anyway, so I'm reading.
We only have one Hannibal, the movie. There's let's see.
Silence of the Lambs,
There's 2 Red Dragons.
Dragon of the Flies.
Dragon of the Flies. There's Red Dragon, but there was also Manhunter, which was a version of Red Dragon.
I don't know if I saw that one.
Silence of the Lambs were due for a reboot, and then
Are we,
Hannibal,
though?
we need a reboot. Of course not, but I'm just saying in the grand scheme of things.
I think they did a series though that's like Clarice Starling or something.
No, they did a series that's
No.
Will Graham. They
Okay.
did a Clarice Starling series?
Yeah, I think it's like now, like a current.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like in the past.
No.
Hannibal, the TV show, I loved.
Yes,
Loved.
you were a big Hannibal
Yeah,
fan.
I could rewatch that. That was a really good show.
That's Mads Mikkelsen.
Yes. And
Okay.
Hugh Dancy.
QE. All right. So anyway, I'm reading this like Army Hammer information. And I mean,
You got the brief on Army Hammer.
my text messages were blowing up. I mean, it was like
It was kind of fun.
It was sort of like-
There's a lot of
and then
communication
it, like
that day.
later, it was like, no, maybe this is fake. And then it was later that was like, no, he has these army of like groupie fans that put out that it was fake.
Yeah.
To like cover his ass.
Yeah.
And okay, so essentially the deal is his particular sexual proclivities.
It's kink.
Yeah, but I didn't know kink included like I cut open the heart of a deer and ate its beating heart. Is that like a thing?
Here's the thing.
Kink is anything?
Kink is anything that gets you off.
Really?
Yes, A7 paper could be somebody's kink. They're like, I want you to lie on a. I'm gonna open up this pack of paper from Staples. And I want this ream of paper.
Are you
and I
trying
want
to
you
tell
lie.
me something?
I knew you were going to say that. What if that's the way? I mean, it could be anything. Let's say, for example.
As long as we recycle, that's a responsible.
But that's the thing. It's like it's whatever. It's because I guess it's not that he wants to do these things, but it's the talking about them and it's the scenarios that get him off.
Okay. I guess. Fine. I guess. But like, he must have pissed someone off to have it be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Either he led someone on or someone felt led on. And they were like, well, if you're dumb enough to be famous and sending this shit to me, I'm going to screen cap it, genius. What's so funny is like, at first it's hard to, when a famous person does this, at first it's so hard to believe.
Because they must know.
Because they must know that people are going to do this.
Here's
but
the
then
thing.
you remember there's precedent for it. Of course, these people, they I don't know how they think they're above being caught.
I don't think it's that. Here's what I think. Mm-hmm. Okay. Because he's like married with a family and he's in
separated, I believe.
Well, yeah, since July.
Yeah.
Or something.
Please let me eat your heart. Please.
So I think that probably it's not, he's not in control of this thing. I think it's an addiction, like a compulsion and that's why he's caught on tape or caught in DMs because
that's part of it too. I think it's the rush of it.
Yeah.
Outweighs for those people. I think the rush of it outweighs the risk of it. And they're like, look, this feels so good. Like having these weird exchanges with these people that I don't know. But I guess some of them, was he like hooking up with people? Was he meeting some of these people?
That's what it was. Like he's in.
And eating their hearts?
I don't think he was like eating. I don't know. Whatever.
How far away was he from doing that though? Really?
So here's
Catch
where
me before I kill again.
I got weirded out in general is because he's from like this wealthy oil family or something.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's been so many, like, you know, kind of weird rich family things. You know, not all of, I mean, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But like the Gettys, right? They it was like a crazy, weird family of weird stuff that went on and kind of, you know, madness or whatever. And so I started getting interested in like, oh, what is his deal? Like, is his family have stuff, you know? So I started just very lately Googling. I mean, like I did not go deep at all. But the dad or the granddad that was like the Russian immigrant or something, and he basically like had put some money into some oil well as just like a tax shelter, and then the well started gushing, and then he just like became. I mean, that's so crazy.
Yes, I'm rich now.
Yeah. And he did something. Now I can't believe I brought it up. I don't remember, but he did something that like Nixon pardoned him for it. Whatever it was.
Oh, yeah.
He did something.
Yeah. I forget what it was, but I remember we looked it up.
So anyway, I'm reading this article. To kind of find like, where does Army Hammer like fall in this very wealthy family that might have secrets or skeletons or whatever. But the article, like, he's like basically like, I don't use any of my family's money. My wife and I generate our own money, and I'm very proud of that. And I was like, okay, the wording of I don't use me, and to me implies like he's got some big motherfucking trust fund.
100%.
And could take like total big swings in life.
Yeah.
Also, he looks like a statue that was struck by lightning.
It's like when Jay Leno would say, I never touch my Tonight Show money. I live off the stand-up money.
Right.
And it's like, I don't know why you're saying that to people, because you're
just saying I have a lot of money.
You're saying I don't even touch these millions of dollars. I subsist off the other millions of dollars that I make.
Well, if that's the case, just give it to the homeless shelter down the road.
Yeah,
if that's such a big deal that you're not using that money.
They do some charity stuff, but I'm not.
I'm sure.
It's such it's a gross thing to say. It's like, what point do you think you're making when you say that? What brownie
did you earn? What cookie did you get for not using that money?
Cookie did you get?
Also, it's all the same money. Once you put it in your fucking bank account, it doesn't become in a different...
Maybe you got a Tonight Show bank account.
But do you know
what I'm saying? It would be funny if he was talking to his accountant saying, don't let me touch any of this money. No matter, like he's a werewolf locked up in a room.
Like $1 is $1. Like
no matter how much I ask, don't let me touch the Tonight Show money.
If I gave you $2.
Okay. Please. I'm glad you're breaking this down for me.
If I gave you $2.
That's right.
And I was like, this dollar in my left hand, I actually got from the Tonight Show petty cash drawer. And this dollar in my right hand, I found in between the seats of my Bentley.
Who are you in this scenario?
Okay, start over.
So
I'm your accountant.
You have a Bentley.
I'm an accountant. No, start over. I'm your accountant.
Okay, and I'm Jay Leno.
Okay. Hey, Jay.
I'm too tired to do the impression.
That's a shame, really.
It is. I know it's a shame. And I'm sorry, folks, but yeah, of course I could do it. I can't make myself do it right now.
Okay, I'm your accountant. You're Jay.
Hi, it's me, Jay.
Hey, I just got some money for you. Just came in. This dollar in my left hand.
Oh, it's cash.
Yeah. Well, the checks that came in, they both accidentally left off $1. So they sent someone.
They just sent $1 bill in the mail. I mean, that's safe.
No, they sent an intern.
Oh, they courier or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Okay. So this dollar in my left hand is from the Tonight Show.
Oh, the Tonight Show stiffed me $1?
Yeah, don't worry. They sent this courier. They sent this
I'm ready to start another late night war.
Don't worry.
Okay, all right. Thanks for looking out for me.
Immediately, and I called.
Thank you for looking out for me. And not embezzling from me, presumably.
No, I wouldn't.
Good enough for me.
And then I noticed there was $1 on your off your Laugh Factory check. And I was like, what the fuck?
Are you telling me the Laugh Factory stiffed me $1?
Yeah, but I saw it and I called, and they sent, Pauly Shore over.
It's the Comedy Store.
He was walking by the Laugh Factory.
Oh, I see.
And they happened.
Probably on his way to the Comedy Store further down the strip.
Yeah. Cuckoo's out.
Cuckoo's here.
Okay, so he said, he was like, oh, are you owe that $1 to Jay? And they were like, yeah. And then he was like, well, I know his accountant, Bob. And I was going, that's me, I'm Bob. And
No,
so,
Bob, I know Bob.
Yeah, I'm Bob.
No, I know you are.
Yeah, I'm Bob. So
I know.
So Pauly dropped it by. We had a fun talk.
Nice of him.
Anyway, here are the $2. I know you don't want them to be together.
Right.
So I'll just hand them to you.
Okay.
Okay, here you go.
Thank you.
Oh, I dropped them.
Oh, no. Now I don't know which dollar's which.
Which one? They look identical.
First of all, you should have only
Sorry.
handed me the Laugh Factory dollar because I never touch my Tonight Show
Oh,
money.
you were going to touch it when I handed it to you.
I meant physically. I literally never touch it.
Well, can you pick up the dollar on the ground? That's the Laugh Factory dollar.
Which one is it?
I don't remember.
Bob, you gotta. Why do I pay you?
I don't know. So, but my point of the story is...
Let me tell you what hampered that analogy somewhat is that...
Pauly Shore.
No. It's that... It didn't need to be $2 physical dollars.
Well, I thought that would really drive it home that these two identical dollars were in my hands. One was in one hand from one job and one was in my other hand from the other job.
But you're my accountant for many years. You should know, just hand me the Laugh Factory dollar and then put the other one in the bank yourself.
Sometimes I get mixed up which one you touch and which one you don't
touch. Bob, come on. Are you kidding me with this?
Once I stick it in the account, it's not my problem anymore.
Well, then maybe you should have done... You called me all the way down here from Malibu. I drove my jalopy on the on the PCH.
Well, I hadn't seen you in a long time, and
you missed me, Bob.
I did. I really did. I did.
And scene. How do we get to talking about this? Army Hammer. Oh, he doesn't touch his family's vast wealth.
Trust fund that he's probably...
He doesn't use it. Yeah.
He doesn't use it, but like it's there. Mm-hmm. You know? That's a different mindset.
Yes, it is.
You go into the workforce and you're kind of like, all right, I'm going to make a decision about... I want to make some bad decisions about my career. I want to make some bad decisions about my career, but I don't have a lot of money. I don't have any money to fall back on. So I'm going to make some safe, boring decisions about my career, or I'm going to make some bad decisions about my career, but I have like the biggest windfall. Like I literally have like a lottery ticket full.
To be fair, even without the use of his family's money, he's doing fine. And
well, yeah. Also, he was born into the genetic lottery. Like he looks like him or whatever. And so, you know, people like that go through life differently.
And then you look at the guy who played his brother in The Social Network, and he's normal.
I heard he doesn't touch his Social Network money.
He lives exclusively off his trust fund.
That was good technology. By the way, speaking of twin technology,
Yeah, let's get into twin tech.
I know I recommended this.
This is going to be Mark Ruffalo again.
Yeah.
Honey, come on.
I can't get over that.
You got to stop beating that Ruffalo drum.
I just can't get over it.
Listen, if you want to be bummed out for 5 hours, you absolutely have to watch this miniseries on HBO.
You know this much. Wait, is that what it's called? You know this much is true? Or something?
I know this much is true?
I thought it was
Or is it just this much is true?
I thought it was this much. Is it,
This much is true.
Am I saying like a Spandau Ballet song?
Well, in the Spandau Ballet song, he says, I know this much is true.
I know this much is true. Oh, I didn't know you were good.
This much is true.
I love that song.
It's a great song.
It's a fucking great song.
Do you remember their song Gold?
Yeah.
You are gold, gold, always believe in your soul. You're indestructible.
That's a good one.
Gold is not indestructible, by the way. It's a soft metal.
But what do you mean? You can destroy it?
You can destroy gold, sure.
How?
Look, melt it.
It's still just watery gold.
Watery gold.
This is why I failed.
That's the name of my greatest hits album.
This is why I almost failed chemistry.
Yeah, exactly. People love liquid gold.
God, I'm so. Who was it? Mrs. Rooney who passed me through. Mrs. Rooney, thank you.
It was Mr. Ferris who did not pass me through. No, thank you.
I think she recognized my natural intelligence.
Yeah.
And was
didn't hold it against you like mine did.
I kind of wish I had. Now that I think back on my life, if I had to repeat a grade, it would have helped me in life. I should not have moved out on my own when I was 17 and gone to college. That's too young, y'all.
Yeah, it's wild when I think about that.
young.
It's wild. Like I don't know. I'm glad I did it though.
I guess.
I'm glad I was out on those streets when I was young and didn't know any better. I mean, that's kind of it's like New York. Like you can live in New York if you get there young.
Uh-huh.
And you're just like, this is what life is like. Then it won't feel so bad later.
I mean, I wish I had
But
moved
if you
there
move there
younger.
as an adult from another normal place,
I moved there as an adult, but I was in my 20s.
there you go. That's the time to do it.
I wanted to move there when I was 17, and my mom was like, no, ma'am.
I don't think so.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. But it was also like, you have to leave the house. So I was like, okay.
You can't go there, but you can't stay here.
And I was like, whatever. And so, yeah, I'm watching that Fran Lebowitz thing on Netflix, which I have to watch without Paul because I knew
I can't do it. I can't do it.
I was watching it and enjoying it, and I was like, I'm literally Paul walked in the room, and I said, I'm watching something that I'm enjoying that I absolutely know that you would not enjoy. And I hope that's not that bad to say on this.
No, it's not.
You have nothing against Fran Lebowitz. It's just that there's a New Yorker.
A little bit. I have a hard time with
He
people.
has a hard time with New Yorkers that are like have mythology.
Well, it's which is all New Yorkers, but it's it's like, yeah, I get it, New York. People have talked about it. But also, I have a hard time with people that are known for witticisms, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like and a lot of it ends up being just like, today's opposite day. Like, I just saw some little tiny clip where it was like, you know what I have a problem with? Wellness. Like, come on, what are we doing here? This is like if Ben Franklin had a show. And he said all this shit, you would hate Ben Franklin.
No, I kind of like it because to me, it's sort of like stand-up light. And I'm like, oh, maybe
that's why I despise
I'm not
it.
that is why you despise it. Because you're a heavy hitter. You're like an Olympic level. You're Olympic
that's
level.
Very kind.
Like,
that's very kind. Does she still smoke? Is she smoking on the thing?
No. But like when I watch it, I'm like, oh, If you're just kind of like somebody's funny friend, you could have like a whole thing.
There are many examples of that, for sure.
What, like who else?
I'm not going to name names. You know who I mean. Everybody knows who I mean.
I don't know, but anyway. But I also enjoy this sort of like, but anyway, she like moved to New York when she was like 17 or something, you know, or 19 or something. And I admire that. I think that's kind of neat. I mean,
that she moved there when she was so young?
Yeah, and that she like made it and like she like planted the flag and
look, I absolutely give her all the credit in the world for being like a niche person and personality. You know what I mean? Like she is her own thing, and she's a writer, you know, and she's still out there and she's still doing her thing, and I'm not going to take that away from her.
But kind of a dying breed of New Yorker, though. That's the thing. That's why I think that I don't know.
You think that, but they're already working on it. Don't worry.
You think?
There's still.
We're gonna get so much
God.
New Yorker backlash.
Hey,
now.
take it. You know what I mean?
Paul's an Angelina. Here's the thing, y'all. Paul is a total diehard Angelino. Like he left the East Coast and he came out here to sunny LA, and he totally was all in.
It took a while. It took a few years before because if you live anywhere in the United States outside of California, you're just raised with this irrational dislike of California for no reason. Like, it's weird, but I had it too. And I was like, I'll go there because I have to. And then after a couple of years, I was able to admit to myself, like, I like living here.
No,
it's
California
nice.
is beautiful.
California knows how to party.
They kind of do because they're having to break up all those super spreader
Oh my God. Boy, that's the truth.
all the super spreader
That's the truth. Do you think McMansion or whatever her name is? What did we just say the song her name was?
Oh yeah, McLean.
McGruff?
Yeah. We don't know her name.
We don't know her name. We do know her name, but we gave a false name.
But that was the false name, wasn't it?
No. It doesn't matter. No, it's fine. Look, we accidentally one of the names we said was correct. We're not going to tell you which one. So her name might be McGruff. Who knows?
Do I think she has a super spreader?
Do you think she will have a super spreader party
in her 500 square foot? Her 500 square foot corner lot.
That's the way to super spread, I think. Get as many people possible in a small space.
I haven't seen any like movement over there, but I
saw a little bit the other day.
Well, oh, you did?
Yes, she got some delivery. 2 guys delivered something. It did not seem like anybody was wearing a mask.
Was it? They delivered COVID. They were delivering COVID.
Special delivery. The big COVID, the ball with
box.
the thing sticking out of it.
Oh yeah, like a fuzzy.
What is that? A molecule? What do we call that? What is that?
It's a virus.
That's what the virus. So that's what the virus looks like.
Yes, it's got a spike.
That ball with the
spike.
Nerf darts coming out of it.
They're called spikes.
Okay, I don't know why you're talking to me that way.
My epidemiologists have taught me that.
I missed early on in COVID where they dissected the virus and said this is what this part is called.
Excuse me, that was the whole big deal, is that it had these spikes.
That's how it wins.
And they have to
gems.
That's what the vaccine or whatever has to go after the spikes.
Has to knock all the spikes off.
It has to take care of this. You don't want the spikes. The reason it's bad is because the spikes can stick on you like nettles.
They look like little suction cups.
Sand burrs.
Right. Sure, sand
They stick in your
burrs.
bare feet. Okay?
Okay.
You don't want those goddamn spikes sticking onto your system. Your body system.
I get it now. My body system. Your body system.
So
keep the spikes out of your body system. It's not hard, people.
But like Paul. So Paul's like he's just like Los Angeles diehard.
And listen,
Like,
loves
it.
I love to visit New York. I love to visit New York.
Yeah,
and I
New
always
York's
have a good time.
fun.
I found living there very challenging, but more than anything, people talking about New York and how great it is.
He can't deal.
Like when people act like I have to stick up for New York. What that fucking Alicia Keys song? Let's hear it for New York.
I like it. I like the song. I like New York more than Paul likes New York. I
Concrete
think.
jungle where dreams are made of.
I have a different relationship with New York.
You do, and you live there longer, and it was part of your formative years.
And that's fine. But I also
hold on. Let me say, I love New York. I don't hate New York.
No,
I
you
love
don't
New
hate
York.
New York.
I do find some New Yorkers tedious, and the most tedious New Yorkers are ones who have just moved to Los Angeles and talk about New York all the time.
Because they cannot stand how Los Angeles is not New York.
Yes,
which is like, yeah.
They can't do all the same things that
It's
they
the
could do, and it's
opposite.
like, yeah, that you would find that any city really, that things would be different.
But like, I think my relationship with New York is different too, because as a teenager, I like dreamed of living in Manhattan. Like I dreamed about it.
When
like
you were
it was,
not a girl, but not yet a woman.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like New York had caught my sort of imagination as a young person.
Of course, absolutely.
And so like it was always in the cards for me.
Yeah.
And so when I finally got there, and then there was a terrorist attack, that was kind of messed up. But
do you want that to be your final word on 9/11? Kind of messed up?
by the way, I found the coup 9/11-esque in its emotions of how I felt like people dying in front of my eyes.
Yeah.
People dying in front of my eyes, and people, and something being destroyed that was like a symbol of, our country or whatever. Like it felt so traumatic, and I hated it.
Yeah.
I fucking hated it.
I
fucking hated it.
It really was horrible to watch, and it was so demoralizing that just these people have been like fucking. They've been sold a bill of goods, and it just got worse and worse. It's depressing.
I feel sorry for them because of like if anyone got swindled, I don't care who, I feel a sense of sorrow for them.
It's an extremely...
It makes me sad. It bums me out.
It's an extremely sad thing.
That someone's like
that
grifting them.
Someone was vulnerable enough to fall for someone who absolutely did not care about them, did not have their best interests at heart, and was constantly lied to. He pushed a button in these people, and it worked. It absolutely worked. And they centered their whole lives around it to the point where it's like, we saw that real estate lady who just got arrested.
Yeah.
It was like,
talk about that
my president told me to go, and so I got on a plane and I went there.
So I am following their arrests, y'all, online, like everyone.
I'm sorry to say that it's fun. I'm sorry.
Well, of course, you want to see justice must be. We must meet this moment.
It's a weird push and pull because these people are. Like they're doing reprehensible things, and they're saying reprehensible things, and they have reprehensible outlook, But but then you do sort of feel bad that it's hard not to also have some pity when they were lied to by this maniac who just used them without thinking about it too much.
I feel the pity, but I also recognize that they.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
They had a willingness to be lied to.
That's what I'm saying.
And
it's not all one or the other.
But I do feel it.
So you can take pleasure in seeing them. It does feel like, yes, this should happen. These people should get arrested.
What makes me sad is that a lot of them have lost family over it, and jobs and livelihood.
Like the Q people, that's very bleak.
It's like they've lost family, they've lost jobs, they've lost like any social status outside of their bubble of conspiracists, right? And also those people will turn on them on a dime. Like if somebody, does something out of lockstep, they will, for example, for example, the woman who climbed through the window at gunpoint and kept going, and she got shot and was killed. I think people were trying to kind of distance, and say she was Antifa and not.
Yes. They started that so early, too.
But I mean, that's what I'm saying. The loyalty within that group is not even anything.
Well, yeah, because it's the group above everything, and it's like anyone who acted badly, probably not one of our people. Well, all we did was break in and wander around. That's all we did. Anybody did anything bad? It was not one of us.
One of my favorite news stories of the week, has been there are these two defense lawyers in Florida that are defending the guy that was photographed with the Nancy Pelosi's podium. Yeah. He's like smiling and, whatever.
Yeah.
And these guys, I kind of they're not even part of this.
Right.
They're just they just want to promote their law firm, their defense.
What better promotion could there be?
Well, the idea when you're a defense attorney is you are mixed up with.
Yeah, but you have to get them off. That's the time to advertise.
The press conferences on the steps of wherever, and the reporter asks the guy, he says, so, your client was photographed inside the building with stealing this property. It's there's a picture of him. So doesn't that pose a problem for you? And he was like, well, yeah, okay. Yes. I mean, he was in there. It does pose a problem. I mean, we're not magicians. He said, we're not magicians.
Now this is good advertising.
And then it was and then I saw him on TV, on CNN, and they were basically saying he was just there as a tourist. He wanted to see history. It was not what it looks like or whatever.
He got carried along.
He got carried away.
Yeah.
Or something. And I was like, oh, this guy, he's not getting off. He's not getting off.
No.
He's not getting off, and unless they get him some great plea deal. If he has names to give up for something.
Yeah. All right.
They have to get all these people rounded up because they can leverage them against one another.
True. But they might not even know each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they have access to these boards.
Yeah, I know.
Or who's talking to whom.
We'll see. I mean, we don't have time. We got to wrap it up. But yeah, all the parlor stuff, it's amazing, all the stuff that went down. All right. Do you have any recommendations besides This Much Is True?
Well, yeah. Okay. This week I binged this speaking of Los Angeles, I binged this docuseries on Netflix. I was sick in bed this week. I had food poisoning. So I had a lot of time to binge because I could not get out of bed for 2 solid days. And Paul had to bring me crackers.
Of course I did.
He brought me crackers and water, and I sipped water and ate crackers. Okay. So I binged this docuseries on Netflix called The Night Stalker, and it's about this serial killer that was active in Los Angeles in the 80s. And when I say active, I mean he was active.
This guy, he had a real get up and go attitude.
For his serial killing. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm a true crime junkie. I didn't know much about this guy. So for some reason, he kind of slipped out of
my... You heard of him, but you didn't really know the case.
Yeah, I've heard of him, but I didn't know how he was caught. I didn't understand the era, 80s LA and all. It was so good. Mm-hmm. It was so good.
I'm going to watch that one. I heard it's good.
So scary. It was so scary.
No, I'm off board.
It was so scary, but it was awesome. And all the LA, all of LA footage and stuff was fun for me as someone in Los Angeles watching it, but it made me scared. But still, it was good.
It's really well done.
That was my recommendation. What's yours?
Mine is, it's a little plug for a show that I'm doing in February. Lauren Lapkus and I, we do a live streaming improv show every month. And because of scheduling conflicts, we usually do it the first Monday of every month. In February, we're going to do it on Valentine's Day. That is Sunday, February 14th. And we're calling it Valentine's Day. Because we're pals. And we're abandoning our spouses on the romance day.
Do you know my mom is like one of Lauren's biggest fans?
That makes me very happy.
I know, me too. She's just like, thinks she's the beat. She's like, she is so cute and so funny. I love it.
Well, your mom thinks that she hung the moon.
She thought she hung the moon. All right, and where can people, again, paulftompkins.com, is that right?
Yes, paulftompkins.com/live. We thank you so much for listening. We thank everyone who sent well wishes last week.
Y'all were the sweetest.
It was really nice and it meant a lot to us.
And also a lot of people shared a lot of their own personal tragedies and stuff in their lives. And I was very moved by a lot of, we got a lot of messages. I obviously can't reach out, but we have been reached in by you.
Honey, I couldn't have said it better myself.
So you can email us at stayfhomekins@gmail.com. Please tweet at us at stayfhomekins on Twitter. Paul did not post on our Stay of Homekins Instagram reference pictures this week. It was just kind of a tough week. So that last episode 2, season 2 kind of slipped out of our...
I will post reference photos for this
episode 3.
Yes.
Oh, there may be some good ones, some cannibal ones.
There might. We'll see. Some real cannibals. All right. Thank you for listening. We'll be back next week. And until then,
hang in there.
Please hang in there. It's almost Friday.
It is Friday.
I know. But who knows when they're listening to this? So until we're back. You're just going to say it out of nowhere. Stay safe.
Stay sane and stay home.